Have you ever worked for years on a labor of love, even when everyone else thinks you're a little crazy, because you know how important that work really is? In the mid-1980s, after moving back to Rochester, New York, Tom MacDonald saw his first snowy owl and became immediately obsessed. An experienced hawk and eagle bander, Tom turned all of his attention to these white raptors, about which so little was known. He changed his work schedule to the evening shift at a warehouse so he'd have the days free to chase snowies. On weekends, he'd be out of the house at 3 a.m., driving through lake-effect blizzards along Lake Ontario or the St. Lawrence River Valley, putting 700 or 800 miles on his car following up on tips and leads on where the owls might be found. He banded them, watched them, recaptured them in subsequent winters. And Tom began to question the conventional wisdom that these were lost, starving wanderers. He saw them as they really are, highly capable predators that bring a piece of the Arctic south with them each winter, and about which we still know very little. For more than 25 years, Tom MacDonald worked alone, a solitary pioneer of snowy owl research, logging 500,000 icy miles on his car, paying his expenses out of his own pocket, eventually banding more than 500 owls as he laboriously pieced together a picture of their behavior and ecology. Today, after almost 30 years, Tom is still out there in the cold and snow of upstate New York, but he's not alone anymore. Tom is an integral part of Project SNOWstorm, which he helped launch in 2013 in the wake of the biggest snowy owl invasion in more than half a century. In fact, he tagged the first new owl of our 2017-2018 winter, a young female he dubbed Hilton, captured near Braddock Bay on Lake Ontario at the end of November. Project SNOWstorm is more than 40 scientists and researchers from dozens of organizations and institutions who, like Tom, are driven to understand and preserve this iconic species. They're the backbone of Project SNOWstorm, men and women like Norman Smith in Boston, who's been studying snowy owls at Logan Airport since 1981. Or Dr. Cindy Driscoll in Maryland, who heads up our team of wildlife veterinarians and pathologists. Or Jean-Francois Therian at Hawk Mountain Sanctuary in Pennsylvania, who brings expertise honed by years of working with snowy owls in the Canadian Arctic. There are dozens more, each of whom brings their passion and experience to what has grown into one of the largest and most ambitious snowy owl research projects in the world. Your support has allowed us to use the latest tracking technology to follow more than 50 snowy owls across wintry landscapes and back up to the Arctic breeding grounds. You've given us the chance to explore the health of snowy owls in the field and in the lab, and to work with airport authorities and wildlife managers to safeguard these birds in hazardous situations. The first $30,000 from this year's campaign, our only source of funding, will go directly toward the purchase of 10 new transmitters to be deployed across this winter's eruption zone. Funds beyond our initial goal are still needed, though, to continue supporting our lab work and the analysis of our movement data to answer the important conservation questions that still surround snowy owls. Whether you've supported us since 2013 or are finding our site now for the first time, we invite you to help us reach our funding goal in this, our 5th consecutive year. Your donations are fully tax deductible. Join Tom, Norman, Cindy, JF, and the rest of us on the SNOWstorm team as we learn what we need to know to protect these magnificent hunters in a rapidly changing world. Thank you.